Doing amazing. Welcome to my channel. Adrian Nelson here, psychic medium as well as regression hypnosis practitioner. And this is a general reading for love, for the sign of Aquarius, or you just got strong Aquarius in your chart. Obviously, if you maybe want to add to the reading and you want to have a broader sense, of your reading, also look at the reading for your moon sign, for your emotions, and also for your Venus, maybe for love. And if you don't know what those placements are, there's a link in the description, a free link that shows you what those placements are. Okay? I'm not promoting it as in they're not paying me for it. It's just a very good source of information, and I like to give honor where it's due. So it's a very good link to follow. I'm not going to put a date on this reading, and the reason why I'm not putting a date on this reading is because I'm putting it out that whenever you see it, that it's the right time for you to see it, Aquarius. Okay. I've already done your September reading, and then after I'm done with these readings, I'm going to do a reading for new love, and then I'm going to do for twin flame. And if you want to be sure to catch those readings when they come out, to be notified, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I do encourage you to subscribe so you know when those are coming out. And if you would like the video, I would really appreciate that, because that helps my channel to grow. I also want to thank all of you that are making donations to me. I really appreciate it so much from my heart. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in learning to read the tarot for yourself, then there's a link in the description for my detailed online tarot reading course. Okay. I'm also running a special at the moment, a 30 minutes reading for $25. That's 350 Rand for South African money. Your card for your overall message from the universe went flying, so I'm just going to get it for you all quickly. Okay, so you have everyone is doing their best. All right. Aquarius, there's something that I want to speak with you about, and this is a love reading, but this is coming up, and this could be coming up in your relationship. That can also be coming up maybe in the other areas of your life, work, you go to the store, whatever that may be. The thing to really remember, and I'm not smooth talking you here in the slightest, this is quite simply true. My moon is in Aquarius, and I see that coming through quite a lot sometimes as well. And my best friend is in Aquarius. Aquarius people, especially typical Aquarius, sun sign Aquarius, like your zodiac sign is Aquarius, you have a way of seeing the world in a way that other people don't. And what I mean by that is you've got a way of seeing the world in its most logical sense, that you can see that something is not going to work, and somebody else might be putting themselves out there, putting their heart and soul into something, wishing against all wishes that's going to work, and you look at it from a distance and you go like, this is never going to work, or the chances of this working is really slim. Now, there is something that you have, but there is something that a lot of people, I would go so far as to say, and I hope that I don't get any flack for this, but I would go so far as to say that most people don't see the world as clearly as you see it. And in your relationships that you might have at the moment, with love, with romance, maybe you're with someone, maybe you'd like to be with someone, maybe you've been with someone, there's the thing about you, Aquarius, is that, again, I want to remind you again that I'm really honestly not smooth talking here, but you sometimes, you just, if this is the rest of the world, you usually sort of there, you're very proactive in the way that you see things, in the way that you perceive things, and the way that you go about things. And sometimes we could have been with someone in a connection here, or could be with someone in a connection at the moment, where it's almost like this person is just doing things that is making you want to scream left, right, and center. That could be the best that they are able to do, even though the best of what we see others do is not necessarily what we would do for ourselves, or how we will go about things. You could be dealing with someone that's doing their utmost best, their absolute utmost best, dealing with that energy, and to you it's sort of like very meh, very like meh. But just a reminder there that your perception of what doing your best and another person's perception of what doing their best might not necessarily be the same. Okay? Let's see what we've got there on the back of the card. It says, there are really only two types of people, those you now love and those you will love. Until there's only one type of person, and then we'll probably hit replay, the game of life, the universe. All right? What I find happens a lot of times, Aquarius, is that sometimes we get in a connection with someone, especially in romance, because, obviously love is such a personal thing. We sometimes get in a connection with someone in romance, and it is by that very experience, even if it's an experience that we really, 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 really don't want to enjoy, like that sort of thing. But it is by realizing that how sort of wrong that connection is for you, how wrong that person is for you, that you also get to realize what it is that you actually want to have. All right. Remember, we are all souls walking each other home, and sometimes in life we can become complacent with things, And I feel that for some of you, there might be a space that you have been getting complacent with things. With all respect, I also feel there's a space that some of you might have become a little bit self-righteous, a little bit arrogant here, and just being okay, being fine, and whatever. And then somebody could have stepped into your space and could have been well in the beginning, but could be a space where as things went on, it didn't sort of, I would almost say, honor the greatest good of who you are, or the greatest potential of what you see yourself to possibly be in love. Now we're going to clarify that for you. So this is not a reading to to sort of judge you all the way through. But we're going to look at your current space, where you currently are, and then also who it is that you are dealing with, and what kind of guidance it is that the universe would like to give you in regards to that. So the first card we have, which is your current space, which is you, which is the now space. We're not going to look too much into the past, because the past is sort of what brings us here. But you've got birds of a feather. And this is you, I feel, at this particular point in time, Aquarius, being very open and very willing to being with a connection that is sort of like on the same page as you, on the same sort of, level as you, that sees life in the same way that you see life, that is open to maybe, going to that next level. I sense you here being in that space where, you might even actually be in a connection at the moment. For those of you that are married, I feel that for some reason you are, you're doing quite okay. Obviously, please take it as it resonates. But for those of you, and especially I feel a big single energy here. Now I'm going to do new love readings after this, probably going to start either over the weekend or next week. But there's a space here where I feel, Aquarius, where you are only willing to be with someone that's actually serious about a connection, about building a future, about putting themselves out there, about challenging them, when it comes to challenging themselves. I do feel that many of you might be dealing with an Aries in actual fact, a very mature Aries energy, and, that maybe you can benefit from each other, where they say to you, what, Aquarius, let's just go and do this. Let's not think too much about it. And where you could maybe, help them with getting sort of more structure. So in a sense, the two of you can actually help each other to move forward quite effectively in this world, because there's not a necessary stalling, but there's also not sort of like that almost like impulsive going forward, which, a lot of times can actually just end up in tears. So there's a beautifully balanced space that's actually happening here for you at the moment, where either, you met someone, or could be in the space of meeting someone. This could be someone that you maybe meet online. I feel this could be very sudden connection. And whilst it could be that you could have looked at someone and thought to yourself, you know what, I wouldn't mind jumping your chops, I feel that for some of you, this is more sort of like a passing thought. It's almost like... when you watch a soapy, for example, and usually in soapies they've got the most beautiful people, obviously, but you look at someone and you thought like, I wouldn't mind being with that person, they look sort of yummy, but I feel it's more sort of like just a thought that you put out there and haven't really thought too much You haven't really put too much thought into that. It's just sort of like something that you kind of like, almost like without realizing, kind of like threw out there into the universe. And now it's sort of coming to pass. And some of you are like, I don't know what I should do now. All right. Challenge for you at the moment, guidance from the universe for you at the moment, you've got the divine matrix. This is a space of ascension, of moving into more of who you are. And I feel that for what's happening for a lot of you at the moment, Aquarius, again, for those of you that are married, I feel that whether you are man or woman, not a gender specific reason, reading, I feel you taking that lead. And then, the thing about you, Aquarius, is that especially when you are mature in your energy, um, it's 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 very good for you to take the lead, because you do it really, really well. Um, and you're quite insightful about things, which is wonderful. I do just feel that there is that space where shaking things up a little bit is necessary for you, and that's what's coming about for you. Sorry, I do actually really feel that some of you, there's commitment happening here. There could be marriage, there could be engagements, there could be going into relationships, connecting with a high level connection. There's also a sense of you, and this is really wonderful for me to pick this up, because this is a sense where you go from sort of like one level almost to that next level. It's like that spiritual ascension, moving to that next level. But the beautiful thing about this, which I like so much, Aquarius, is that it's not one of those spaces where, it's sort of like overwhelming. It feels almost like a drip. It's taking forever. This is actually a space of moving forward quite quickly and quite beautifully. And even though there's this really big ascension that's taking place, I feel you're actually merging with it quite sweet, quite smoothly, which is really, really fantastic. There's a lot of you that you're aligning with your soulmate at the moment. There's a soulmate alignment, like a twin flame alignment that's taking place at the moment. So some of you might say, Adrian, what are you talking about? I'm single and have time for this. I'm doing my own thing. I'm flying solo, that sort of thing, but it is by that full investment of yourself in having that goal to reach the greatest good of what you can be, to reach your own greatest potential. It is by having that focus on that winning line, on that end line, that you're actually getting there. What I also really love so much, Aquarius, and this is fantastic for me to see this, because I do actually plan on making a video about this. First, I have to do your ring, and then I have to do Pisces. And depending on where I am at, I might either do it today or I might do it tomorrow. But I love that you've got to the space where you have this realization that, first of all, the world hasn't always been as wonderful as everybody sort of glamorously makes it out to be. There's always been challenges, and there's a space of I feel, of you saying that, it doesn't really matter what happens at the moment. It doesn't matter what the stock market is saying. It doesn't matter what the pandemic is doing. I'm going for gold. And that going for gold, because sorry, as I said, there is a sense of your almost a personal level that sits well with you. That expansion is taking place. And let me this is a very interesting one, Aquarius. This is almost like before the rest of sort of like the global world started to expand, you did your expansion. So you might have had some very rocky roads over there. Prior to the rest of the world having so much, say, rocky worlds. And you sort of started to make that alignment, started to come into your space, started to be in alignment with your greatest flow. There's a lot of inner work that has been done. And now you're going to that next level where you are aligning with a beautiful connection, with a beautiful soulmate connection that actually honors all of who you are at the moment. So this is not a space where I feel that there would be, say, a lot of compromise taking place. This is rather a space of actually quite easy expression that you are able to do over there. And that's really, really fantastic for me to see. And I mean, look at the outcome. I don't even know if we need to clarify this reading for you. It's so amazing. Grand symphony. This is that playing together, and this is a space of not playing small. And this is your potential outcome that we're looking at. I saw that the screen froze there for a moment. I apologize for that. it is on Wi-Fi, so it's not actually a hard connection, so that could be why. But there is that space here, Aquarius, for you, where you actually realize, and I feel that you're connecting with someone that also actually realize the fullness of who you are and the contribution that you are making to the full picture of life and of love, and as a soul that's expressing itself as as a human being. And so what we're having here at the moment, Aquarius, this is a space where, let's say you've got this big symphony orchestra, okay? And, there's people playing violins and like whatever, flutes and, tubas and whatever. And this is a space where you realize that whatever instrument you are playing is not more or less important than any of the other instruments. This is a space of realizing your connection to the allness. And I really, really like that. I really, really like that. This is a soulmate twin flame connection, which is also really, really good, because I feel from this space, you may have had a connection here with somebody in the past, and that might have been one of the crappiest connections that you ever had, like love connections, and it took you through your paces though, and it started to bring you here. It is what is helping with this at the moment, and this is where it's taking you. Okay, so if maybe you do have some strong feelings towards your ex, for some of those that do, for what they've done and for what they haven't done, etc., 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 it's almost like there was a sense of being unfulfilled in your life, and you may not actually have been aware of that. And not really the worst thing in the world. We all have things like that from time to time, but that person was a very powerful soulmate energy for you, that sort of like kind of like to shake you up and to make you realize that you weren't living the fullest potential of what you can when it comes to love, and actually when it comes to life, because this is a lot about self-love that is going on here at the moment, because the self-love that you're feeling for yourself, that is what's actually pushing this this flow and this connection forward, and that actually leads to this beautiful outcome. Okay, so we're going to look at your overall energy there, Aquarius, that everyone is doing their best. And I feel, even though this is the overall energy, the overall message from the universe, that focuses quite a lot on the X for you. And for some of you, you might remember that at a point, there was a time when a lot of readers were doing readings and they were saying, Aquarius, the X, the X, the X, the X, the X is still in your energy. Now, I don't feel that X is so much in your energy anymore, but there is the lesson that that person has taught you. This card keeps on coming out. This card has come out for Capricorn, it's come out for Sagittarius. So, maybe have a look at those readings if it resonates with you. Maybe you are a Capricorn, maybe you are a Sagittarius, maybe you're dealing with one, maybe you just have that strong energy in your chart, okay? But you've got the Ace of Emotions. This is divine intervention. This is your cup of love. This is you being able to breathe. And I have to tell you that whenever this connection ended in the past, it's almost like you were breathing the sigh of relief. You were glad to be done with this person, but it's like they came to shake you up, and then they left. So they came to do what they came to do, and then they left. Now, normally I draw 2 cards for this, but 3 came out for you, so we're going to take them all. We have the Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and then we have the 9 of Materials, which is the 9 of Pentacles. So that connection that you had there in the past, that person that you connected to in the past, they really, really shook things up for you in the foundations. But it's almost like, as I said, it's almost like you were in this heavy, oppressing sort of energy. It's almost like a heavy, like a heavy energy on your chest, but then sometimes we're not aware of that, because the simple thing about human beings in general is that if you are oppressed for long enough, because the mind is so highly adaptable, you'll just get used to it. And it's even with, like us at the moment with the pandemic, we sort of got used to it. Yes, it's still around and it's not sort of the most wonderful thing at all, but in a sense we got used to it. The human brain is highly adaptable, and I feel that for many of you Aquarius, you were in a space where you got used to having that less than experience, and I feel for many of you, it's almost like there was an earnest cry or like a call or like a prayer to the universe. There was a sense of frustration. Why am I stuck? Why can't I move forward? What is holding me back? I want to know what's holding me back. I want to work through my patterns. And you may not have expected it, but boom, stepped in this person. You know, and this person, it's almost like they've taken your heart and put it like in a blender and put the thing on high, like, you know. But that was necessary because it helped you to move forward. And I feel even in a sense, it gave you new hope. It gave you new direction. Okay. So doesn't mean that you have to get back with them, but I would recommend sending them some gratitude and sending them some love for the purpose that they serve, because for a soul, that is not an easy purpose to serve. Okay. Does it mean that you have to send them a message? I would not recommend that. Not saying that you shouldn't, but just to be clear, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, you can maybe have a gratitude ceremony, because on a soul level, you know, when we have that gratitude ceremony, that, you know, on a soul level, they can actually benefit, because remember, we're all energy and we're all connected and we're all one. All right. So by having that gratitude, which might also be the final release that is necessary for you with this challenge, and we're not there at the moment yet, we're still here with the birds of a feather. I just wanted to show that that can actually help your ascension as well, because it's that final release that some of you have been craving and that some of you felt that is necessary. Okay. You've got the Knight of Voices, which is the Knight of Swords, and the Nine of Voices, which is the Nine of Swords in your current space. So this is a space of having clarity. This is a space of moving forward, and this is a space of moving forward in power, in strength, you know. You may be in that space where obviously you don't see the whole road yet, and you don't quite know exactly what it is that you need to do going forward, but there is a sense of going forward. And as you obviously move forward, that is how the way reveals itself for you. You're very clear. I feel that for some of you, you may not be that 100% clear about, you know, exactly who and what sort of is, you know, what kind of partner, person, connection it is that you want to be with. But I do feel that there's an extreme clarity for widows that you do not want to be with. All right. And that is actually quite good. And I feel that for some of you, there might have been some recurring patterns that have been taking place over here in your life, and that person, that ex that you made that connection with, and this is where that sense of sort of like breathing is coming in, and that moving forward, where things started to change for you going forward, is that it's almost like they made you aware of the pattern that you were in, that you may have, you know, if somebody told you this 2 or 3 years ago, you would have been like, what are you talking about? I'm not in a pattern, you know, maybe I just have bad luck, or maybe I just haven't found the one yet. But I feel that somebody came to really shake you up and to really make you aware of the patterns that you could be having that is not serving you in the most prosperous sort of way. And then you got some clarity about the areas that it is that you need to work on. I feel that for many of you, you are in that space also at the moment. It's almost like you can feel yourself aligning with the energy of love. So for many of you, you might not be in a actual, like an official connection with someone at the moment, but there's something going on here. You know, there's not nothing going on here. It's like you can feel that essence. And for some of you, it's almost like you kind of getting yourself ready. There can be sudden connections over here for you, because as I said, you know, for many of you, you are not expecting love. So it in a sense, it can almost sort of like creep up on you. But, you know, I think at the sort of like higher level, everybody want to make that beautiful connection with somebody else. But I feel that for some of you, because you stepped away from that and you started to focus on other things, maybe on your career, on your daily life, on your family, you know, all those type of things, you actually put yourself in the space of surrender without actually even realizing it. Okay. Now, Divine Matrix. We have the Two of Materials, which is the Two of Pentacles that went flying there in reverse, and the Seven of Inspiration. Okay, so the Seven of Wands. This is a space where, with this Two of Materials in reverse first, especially when it jumps like that, it usually tells me that it's a powerful message. With that, Aquarius, this is a space where I feel that for some of you now and going forward, where you might feel that, you know, I can be in this beautiful connection with someone, but I first need to do this, and I first need to do that, and maybe I need to change this about myself, and I need to do this, and I need to do that, and I need to do that. There's nothing that you need to do. Okay? Um, and also to let you know that even if you've got a very, very busy life, for example, maybe your plate is very, very full at the moment, um, this is a connection that comes in to make things better for you, not worse. Okay? And there's, if you can accept that within yourself, there with the seven of inspiration, it can actually open a beautiful new path for you. This could be a connection that really takes everything so beautifully to that next level for you. Okay, so there is that next level that's available. And even if we look with this divine matrix, I just want to show you this. First of all, let me show you to you like this. So there's the divine matrix and there's the two of materials in reverse. Okay, so nothing that you really need to do because everything is sort of like happening already. And there is something really good to also get, and I know I'm going slightly off track here, but this is something that's also really good to get when it comes to manifestation. Because when we look at the world, there are those people that we sometimes look at them and it's not really like they're trying, but good things are happening for them. It's because of their foundational belief about themselves, of their own worth and their own value. They're basically their foundational core patterning about themselves. And then obviously there's people where the opposite is true as well. Feel for you that with your foundational patterning, Aquarius, it's of such a nature that you've done the work. You've really done the work. So you brought yourself to that point where you can experience, sort of like basically effortless manifestation, which is really incredible. But the thing is also is for you to actually realize and accept that some of you have been going really hard on things, and I feel that it's time for you to take a little break within yourself, to give yourself that moment to breathe, because there's a whole new world that's opening for you. But remember, at the end of the day, even if a portal of prosperity and abundance, success and love and all of those things open for you, you are the one that has to accept it within yourself in order for it to work. Okay, otherwise you can see love and it just kind of goes past you and you don't even understand why. This is a grand opportunity for love, which you don't really want this to pass you by. And again, it's not anything that you have to do. In fact, this is a space where less is more. The less you do, the better for you, And then you've got grand symphony there, your potential outcome, the person that you're dealing with. This is a connection of mutual benefit. All right, where you are, this is two full cups meeting each other, and every now and then, just to be nice and funny, someone's like, okay, there's some of my drops and there's some of your drops, but these are two full cups. I like this, Aquarius, because this is a space of meeting each other on equal ground, equal mindset, beliefs, work etiquette, even financial stance and those sort of things. It's meeting each other on equal ground, but on positive equal ground. Okay, let's see what we've got here for you. The Emperor and the Hierophant, 4 to 5, going from the one step to the next logical step. All right, being in the fullness of who you are and then going to that next level, those next challenges, taking those next beautiful challenges of growth on together. I love this. I love this. I love this. Let's see what we've got for you for a final message from the universe. Wow. You have got the Empress, the World, and then also the Eight of Wands. This is a position of power. This is you moving forward in your greatest strength. This is you moving forward in power. And because you're moving forward in that beautiful power, which is not really something that we can get from the outside, it's something that we get within us. And then as we get it within us, it reflects into the outside world, and that draws that perfect love to us, that we don't have to be too picky and choosy, because our energy communicates that we are only here for the greatest good. And that is where you are not 100% there, but this is where you're moving and this is where you're heading in such beautiful way, because you are heading towards the fullest expression of yourself as a human being, and then that takes you to that next level and that next level and that next level. And I feel that you're dealing here with someone that is, your goal is to live life fully in the beautiful capacity of which you can live it. And it's just a really beautiful thing. And if that resonates with you, Aquarius, I will definitely claim that for myself. Okay. Um, and also, if the reading resonates with you, I'd really appreciate you liking the video. If you're not subscribed yet, remember to subscribe to the channel. Remember to hit that notification bell so you know when your readings are coming out. And I will see you next time.